My wife slept with my friend. This morning my wife said she had something to tell me. She cried the whole time saying she had done something terrible and I'd never forgive her when she told me exactly what happened. My heart sank. I felt angry with my friend. I texted a few people who were at the same party last night. They all said my wife was very drunk and my friend wasn't at all drunk. I can't think right now and I really don't know what to do. Wrong heading. Not friend, a snake. How drunk was she? Her reaction makes me think she was still sober enough to know what she was doing. But it's also not uncommon for victims to blame themselves when taken advantage of. This is all shitty, but the fact that your friend was sober and your wife was very drunk doesn't sit right with me. He took advantage of her vulnerability, but it doesn't excuse what she did 100%. They say drunk people can't consent. I feel bad for that friend as a bit of a predator for doing that. Hope others can give you more perspective. As others have said, her level of intoxication and his lack of one matters here. You know your wife better than any of us. Talk to her and try to get an understanding of how in control of her actions she felt. I have been all shades of drunk and I have shared beds with friends in that state. If they wanted to take advantage of me in that state, they could have. But as a guy, the chances of that happening are less likely, and frankly you should be able to let yourself go with your friends and trust them not to take advantage of you. All this to say, this is not a simple case of cheating. Ultimately, only you can decide if you can get past this. But for my 2 cents, I would try to gather as much information as possible from everyone there, including the guy in question, to see if you can figure out what happened in order to make an informed decision. Sorry to hear what you are going through, and to be honest, what info you have or what you have shared as way too little to actually identify what happened and what to do. If I may ask, why was your wife was at a party with your friend and you weren't there? If that was a party where all the common friends were there, then you seriously need to think about hanging out with this friend group you have, as no one bothered to stop her from getting over drunk or to call you to let you know, or to even bothered to keep an eye on someone who is heavily drunk to identify what actually happened. 1. Try and get the CCTV recording of the place they were at. 2. Ask your friend group to send all the photos or videos they have for the other night. You may get some proof about what happened. 3. Check for the call or text records between them to see if anything was going on. Was he making any advances towards your wife or flirting with her over text? 4. If your wife is not a heavy drinker or have never get over drunk, get a drug test to see if she was drugged. 5. Inform the other guy's wife or girlfriend and all other friends. 6. Even if there is a slightest of chance that your wife was taken advantage of, file a report ASAP and support your wife as much as you can. This is a very difficult time for you, but don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. Before making any decision, think it through. Sending positivity and good wishes to you op. Well, you know for a fact your friend is a dickhead who'll sleep with friends' wives. So ditch him. But seriously, distancing yourself to collect your thoughts might be best. Maybe see if your wife can stay have over some friends while you try and work through your feelings on this. Maybe make up a game plan if you no longer want to be with her. How old are you guys? Do you have many assets together, like house or car? Are either of you near family that might be reliable? Do you think your friends would be reliable to help you during this time? Update me. That sucks. I really don't know what to do. There's a long list of things she could do to try and repair the damage. Open phone. Shared locations. No more alcohol in social settings, couples and individual therapy, etc. But then it will be a relationship that's very different to what you have now. If you find that that's not what you want, you have no chance but to move on. Usually, a 6-month period where you try reconciliation is pretty common. But if it still sucks after that, you should probably move on. As for the people who say that he took advantage or that it was all his fault, that might be the case, but she didn't say that. So let's not jump to conclusions. What's certain is that he's not your friend. If she was unconscious, or to the point where she couldn't take care of yourself, this isn't really about cheating, but more about your friend betraying your and your wife's trust, then this will possibly, and should, end in a rape charge. You don't say a lot about this, but when the shock settles, you have to keep an open mind and get to the bottom of this. If your wife was taken advantage of, the last thing she needs is to be accused of cheating. I think the question might be, was she too drunk to refuse? As an ex-taxi driver, I've had thousands of women get in, or be put in my taxi who just seem drunk, walking okay, sitting up, etc., but too drunk to talk or understand what they're asked. My advice is not to think that just because she got home okay she was able to refuse and not be taken advantage of. One time I got drunk and murdered someone, but the cops forgave me because I was drunk and didn't know what I was doing. Emo being drunk ain't an excuse. I've been drunk many times and never cheated. Also immediately cut the friend out your life. Do some soul searching and reevaluate how your relationship has been over the past years and see if you can actually forgive her, and if not, then you might have to move on, but don't cut her slack for being drunk. Does your wife want to press charges against the friend? It sounds like could not consent, and multiple people at the party can attest to that. Has she been taken to a hospital for a rape kit? Could she have been drugged as well? Yeah, look. Pry into this one. Because she's obviously ashamed, and she was apparently very drunk and he was not. So if she was that drunk, he could have taken advantage of her and made sure she blamed herself. Or she admits it was a conscious decision and you go from there. Either way, throw that entire friend out the door. That's not a friend at all, no matter what happened. Any reconciliation is going to be so much harder considering everyone at the party must know. Get some friends around your wife, and after that take time to yourself to think about next steps. Take some time for yourself to organize your thoughts and feelings. Get away from your wife and friend to do so. That's advice number 1. Advice number 2 is, if I were you, would be to leave your wife and start over. I firmly believe that you only get one life, and there is no point in wasting it with someone who does not respect you. But that is easier said than done, and you have to decide what is the right path for you. She seems to remember what happened. So sounds like she wasn't blackout drunk. Are the people you texted aware of the situation? Could they be covering for your wife? Is your wife's claiming she was taken advantage of, or was raped? Because if she isn't, then I feel like you're jumping through hoops to take blame away from her. If your friend forced your drunk wife to do so, file a complaint. If she did it even though she realized what she was doing, it's a red flag, I suppose. Alcohol isn't an excuse. Your wife knows what she did. If you can drink alcohol, you should be mature enough to handle it and know your limits and not get into these situations. I mean, everyone was there and let it happen, meaning that it seemed mutual to the third parties.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.